the first moment I ever had where I got to like meet one of my idols. So like growing up, like Jose Theodore, goalie for the Montreal Canadiens, Colorado Avalanche. He was like my idol growing up.
Jose.
Jose Theodore, sorry.
Jose.
So Theodore, Kiprusoff, those are the guys I really looked up to. But the 2010s, Jonathan Quick kind of became my guy very quickly. He was just so explosive, so athletic, and fun to watch. And I was a huge fan. I mean, remember the Cup run to 2012, so dominant, so just violently explosive, and just putting out the Canucks, the Devils, the Blues, and the Coyotes, and that playoff run was great. And then again, 2014. But as I became a fan, I remember I ended up buying an NHL authentic jersey. And I remember I worked in my head. I worked so hard working my minimum wage at McDonald's to afford that jersey. And
Did you work at McDonald's? I worked at McDonald's.
I did. It was my second ever
Did you
job
really?
working at McDonald's. Yep.
Ah, it's amazing.
But anyway, so saving up the money from working at McDonald's, bought myself an authentic Kings jersey, got Quick 32 put on it, and then the team that I was playing for at the time, we did a trip to Los Angeles for a hockey tournament. And I remember camping out after practice for about 2 hours, like after the Kings practice. And this is when Quickie was injured. He had the groin tear against the Buffalo Sabres. So I didn't really know if he was around or not, but I thought, I'm here. I might as well camp out and try to find him. Well, I'm waiting outside the arena, the practice facility, the Toyota Sports Center, and out walks Jonathan Quick right in front of me. And I just have this like fangirl moment of like, holy shit, that's the guy that I've been seeing on TV and everything that just walked right past me. And then it clicked, wait, if I want to get my jersey signed in a picture, I got to go talk to him. So I walk over to him, I talk to him, I'm like, hey man, I'm a huge fan. Never said a single word to me. And we'll throw a picture up on the screen of like when him and I didn't end up meeting. But
look at you, you handsome devil.
About a year and a half later, I got the picture of him autographing, or I got the picture of us blown up, and I brought it to him in downtown Winnipeg and said, here's a picture of me and you in Los Angeles from about a year and a half ago. Can you sign the picture? And so he signed the picture, and then I got a new picture of me and him holding the old picture signed together. And that was the last time I saw Jonathan Quick.
At that point, you just give him an engagement ring.
It was so cool though at the time, that's the guy that I've been idolizing. I've met him twice. He was very nice to me. Both times, he never said a single word to me. Just, yep, give me the Sharpie, signed it, and he had the biggest chew I've ever seen in my life. Like his lip was like out to hair. He had a spitter in his pocket too. If you look in the picture, I'll post on the screen here. He has a huge spitter he's holding the whole time while he's signing and taking the pictures. But that was really cool getting to meet Jonathan Quick.
So in my mind, there's a big difference between what you did, because not only were you were a fan, but that was a situation where you're like, I want to be that guy. I want to be just like Jonathan Quick. That's the guy I'm modeling my career after. Am I accurate?
Absolutely. I would say at that point in time, I'm like 16, 17, 18 years old, like coming into 19, and I'm thinking like, I want to play like Jonathan Quick. I want to be Jonathan Quick. And then you slowly realize that, at 6'5", you can't play like a 6 foot genetically gifted freak.
I think there's another version of being a equivalent fan, but under different circumstances. Where I'll give you an example. I'm a huge fan of Dave Grohl, who we've talked about on this podcast before. I've had a chance to meet him. I've had a chance to sit down with him. I know that my career is not going to lead me into music. I know my career is not going to lead me to be a frontman of a band or a incredible drummer for an incredible band, or I'll even use Tom Brady, someone who I appreciate a lot, or Michael Jordan. That kind of appreciation, I don't plan on following in their footsteps as far as their career. Maybe their success, sure. I think there's that kind of fan who just really appreciates what they do. And I mean, you can do that in any industry. There's like Elon Musk. I appreciate that guy so much for what he's done through his career and what he's been able to achieve and sending satellites into space. That is not in my realm of expertise at all, but I appreciate what he's been able to do and the focus and dedication that he's done. But then you've got your other ones who are just seekers. They like you said, they are out for the money. They want that autograph. They want you to sign 40 pieces of memorabilia so they can turn around and sell it. So I think the player can determine whether it's like, oh, this person's a fan, this is a kid, this is a human child, or this is just someone seeking money.
Well, I think too, like when I'm coming to ask you to sign my jersey and sign my puck, and I'm also asking you to sign the picture that we took together last time of the picture we took last time, like, I'm a fan. I'm a religious fan. Like, I haven't washed the jersey. I think I had a ketchup stain still on the jersey that I didn't wash because I wore it to Staples Center to a game, and I got a hot dog and I spilled some ketchup on it, and I never washed it because the jersey was signed. Because if you're watching the video version, I had Jonathan Quick the signature right on the back of the numbers, and I think I got him to sign the front as well, just in case one rubbed off. And I had a ketchup stain not too far off from the signature, so I didn't want to wash either away. I think it's still on the jersey.
And then there's one more version, and I think athletes are very cognizant of all of them. There's one more fan, and I'll reference the movie The Fan with Robert De Niro and Wesley Snipes, where Wesley Snipes was a ball player, and Robert De Niro was such a fan that he ended up going on, spoiler alert, goes on and ends up murdering another player on the baseball team so Wesley Snipes could have more success. Then there's that crazed fan, which I think a lot of entertainment industries deal with, where they're obsessive and it becomes dangerous for the athlete or the star in question.
I know we referenced Blades of Glory last week. That's what you're making me think of with Hector and Jimmy McElroy when he comes up to me and say, "Hey Jimmy, I just want to take off your skin and wear it to my birthday party coming up."
Right.
Hector, didn't I have a restraining order filed against you? Yes, Jimmy, but nobody can obsess like I can. I got around it. And then he gets him back into figure skating. Oh, and Jimmy, by the way, I'm still going to kill you one day. And then he runs away.
Listen, not to tell too many stories out of school, but I was doing an overnight radio show on a country station in Calgary and dealt with a situation where my very oblivious roommates in college didn't realize that this person in question was an overfan and invited them into our apartment while I was working. And then when I returned home at 6:30 in the morning to go to bed, the person in question was sleeping in my bed, and they thought, oh, this is okay. This must be a friend of Dave's. Not the case. So it can happen in any industry. You don't have to be the best athlete in the world or the biggest star. It can happen to anybody, and it can get scary.
Or when they show up at your job site with pitchforks and torches and want you fired.
That's a different kind of fandom.
They love you just in different ways.
Speaking of which, I got into a bit of a dust-up with somebody on my morning radio show that I want to tell you about a little bit later on this morning. But spoiler alert, it has to do with food.
Yes, and one thing that we did want to talk about, it was kind of penciled in the notes here, but the Federal legend, we talk about him literally every podcast, Joe Pace, player, owner, assistant captain, coach for the Mississippi Seawolves. So he will be coming on the podcast sometime in 2023. I was talking to him the other day. We're trying to get it set up so it's in person, because you've got to get an in-person interview with Pacer, but it's going to be coming up. But one of the questions that I had was, he's 37 right now, Joe Pace Jr., He's played the most games in Fed history, coming up on 500, which is the record by far, currently, and will be at 500. He's got 3 kids, a wife, family. They're doing the whole show, front to back. And he's still kicking. He's still producing. He's played games in the ESPY. He's actually alumni, former member of the Weyburn Red Wings in the SJHL, the Saskatchewan Junior League.
Wow.
Legend. But,
former Royal Bank Cup winners.
Yes, former Royal Bank Cup winners. And I was thinking to myself, what is Joe Pace doing to keep this going? How does he still have the drive? How is he still producing? How is he getting things done, both in the upstairs office and on the ice? And Dave and I were talking about it. Is he eating? Is he on the carnivore diet? Is he on the Liver King diet? Or what is he doing? And yeah, I'm curious.
Well, I think, and I can speak being 43 years old, that you realize that I might not be good at anything else, and I want to kind of drag this out as long as possible. And if I'm able to be sustainable and support my family of 3 kids and still do what I love to do, even though it's a lot of work and it's a different kind of work than just being a rookie that comes into the league and is just meant to score goals or get assists or stop pucks or whatever it may be, if you get into a realm of, I'm going to be invaluable to this franchise and be able to make a decent living at this, why would I do this then instead of going to sell used cars? No offense to the used car salesmen out there, but if you had your choice, would you rather do something you absolutely love and put your heart and soul into?
Hey, if you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button. We do a new podcast every single Sunday during the season called Sling the Biscuit. It is a non-mainstream hockey podcast, so we talk about my hockey career, the minor pros, Spain, the Fed, you name it, all the stuff that you won't hear in the mainstream news.
Music,
Pop culture.
politics, a little bit.
Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you soon.